Today let's talk about Mythic Templar. Templar is considered as one of the most iconic characters in Call of Duty Mobile. People love him because he doesn't take shortcuts, he beat people in fair and square. He's such a badass. He was originally portrayed in the comics as a villain, but the hate on him grew more as he killed Ghost. As I told you before, it was a fair and square fight. However, when Ghost came back as a legendary Ghost, ultimately Templar and Ghost had to team up to save Templar's daughter Sophia. This is where people saw him more as an anti-hero instead of a villain, and people loved him. They were able to get the job done, they were able to save Sophia, but when Templar is not at his 100% physically, Ghost took the revenge by killing Templar. This was not a fight, this was like a cheap shot. So now it turns out to be Templar is overlooked as a good guy while Ghost is overlooked like a villain. This whole incident gave Templar more and more fans, and ever since his death, people wanted him to be back, just like how Ghost resurrected from death. But the problem is, there were multiple times he was mentioned, even there are indications that he's buried, so it seems like he's gone forever, and only a writer can make him come back. And guess what? It happened. Since Templar is portrayed as one of the best hand-to-hand combatant in Call of Duty Mobile, people always wanted a legendary or a mythic version of Templar. But since now he's dead, nobody knew how this will turn out. But man, Call of Duty comics are just like any other comics. They always find a way. And now Templar is suddenly back like nothing has happened. He used to wear the mask, but right now he does not have the mask, and he's down to his basics. But it's so clear that he still cares about his daughter. This whole episode runs around 3 characters: Sophia, Dame, and Templar. By the way, do you remember the secret of Templar that turns out to be Usurper? And interestingly, you can see Dame is wearing the Usurper uniform in this episode. So they were possibly talking about this episode. 6 months ago, we got the first ever mythic character in Call of Duty Mobile, and that was Mythic Spectre. Mythic Spectre is not just a character. We had to do more unlocking, more features, and more code points were needed indeed. So the real question is, will Mythic Templar have the same set of upgrades with some minor changes? Well, I'm afraid he does not. Thanks to data miners, people were able to find more and more details about Mythic Templar. One such detail is that Allian Gamer was able to find Mythic Templar will have 2 AR kill watches. We all know one AR kill watch is used to count the number of kills you score in a match. Doesn't matter whether it's a multiplayer or a battle royale. But why do we need a second AR kill watch? Here's what I think. We may get a second AR kill watch to see the total damage we did, or maybe the total score we have in a given match. Also, Online Gamer found an option for a finisher. Finishers are coming to Call of Duty Mobile very soon. And if you don't know what a finisher is, I'll explain it at the end of this video. In addition to that, Shepard from Leakers on Duty was able to find a list of upgrades for Mythic Templar. So it does seem like Mythic Templar will come out with a lot of more features than Mythic Spectre. And according to these upgrades, we will get a customized HUD for Mythic Templar. This is something that we haven't seen for Mythic Spectre. If we are going to use a finisher, that should appear in the HUD. So HUD should be customizable, and it will be exclusive when you have the Mythic Templar. Finishers should not be exclusive for Mythic characters, and the finisher should be available for all the characters. Just that maybe a Mythic finisher is exclusive for a Mythic character. That's fine. However, sadly, looking at the names of these upgrades, we cannot come to a conclusion. But in the second set of upgrades, it says Templar DR Olive. And a similar kind of upgrade is there for Mythic Spectre, as we can change his color to olive. So it seems like we will get some colors such as olive, brown, and patina. I don't think Mythic Templar will be focused more on changing colors. Instead, we will get more features. I mean, think about it. We can expect Mythic Spectre to be a yellow and red dude running around with a sword. But can you expect Mythic Templar to be? I can't. Because Spectre had more colorful skins in the game since the beginning. But Templar, he always had a more darker theme. So if they are going to add more colors to Templar, it will surely look like a joke. So I don't want that. Now you are like, screw this, show me the Mythic Templar. Unfortunately, Mythic Templar cannot be seen yet. But thanks to data miners, we now know Mythic Templar is coming out with a legendary kilo 1-for-1. Do you remember the M16 Targanite from the Mythic Spectre draw? A similar thing is going to happen for Mythic Templar. And luckily for us, we know the model of legendary kilo 1-for-1. So since the M16 Targanite had a color scheme that is very similar to Mythic Spectre, we might get a similar color scheme for Mythic Templar. So he will not be that colorful, but surely he will look good in his theme. According to these upgrades, there are 24 more upgrades, but since this is not the final, this may come out as upgrade groups and we might get multiple upgrades at once, who knows. Because Mythic Spectre had a total of 9 upgrades and 24 seems a little too much for me. However, we can also see possible voice lines, and there are mentions of Sophia and Dame. You already know Sophia is Templar's daughter and Dame is the love interest. I have no clue what they have to do with these characters though, if they are going to change the voice lines. Maybe the way he talks, or he might be saying things that are related to this particular character whenever something special happens. I really have no clue about it yet. There is also mention of VTOL in these upgrades, so we might get a skin for the VTOL with Mythic Templar. I really don't think we can talk about Mythic Templar without talking about his melee skills, because he's not someone who uses guns. He uses swords, knives and all the other stuff basically he can throw. Therefore, we can expect similar items in this lucky draw as well. Not only that, according to data miners, this will be a huge event in Call of Duty Mobile, and we will get an event surrounding the Mythic Templar's time of release. Here's the description of the official patch notes of the Garena version, and these items will be probably related to an event surrounding Mythic Templar in Battle Royale. Here's what it says. T3 container detected nearby. T3 containers have been detected and marked on your map. After extraction, use the T3 transformer, converting its properties into usable form for Templar. Pay attention to it when you press the button. Timing is the key to getting the most refined T3. Working with Templar is unusual, but if he's really turned over a new leaf, it can't hurt to have such a skilled operative on our side. We have gained an unexpected ally today. Thank you for your support, soldier. Knights Covenant, Surat, Rahasya. I hope you guys already know that T3 is a material that is used to make mythic characters. There's history of T3 surrounding Mythic Spectre. In fact, his name is T3. So I'm pretty sure Mythic Templar is here to fight Mythic Spectre, because the Spectre is too powerful for other people. We need another mythic character to have some fight with the Mythic Spectre. So by looking at everything we have uncovered so far, it seems like Mythic Templar is the next big thing that is going to happen in Call of Duty Mobile. I really wish if we get a finisher for Mythic Spectre too. I mean, it was the most expensive character skin ever. So to those who bought it, truly deserves it. And that's all about Mythic Templar for now. If you don't know what a finisher is, check this out. Interestingly, the finishers or finishing moves, also known as executions, can be used in both multiplayer and Battle Royale if you ever want it. Because in the settings you can see a one tap and a long press to do an execution. I'm not sure about how it will work in the multiplayer, but in Battle Royale mostly it will work when you knock an enemy. Remember Apex Legends mobile finishers? Yeah, it will be just like that, but better. Some people argue that in Battle Royale you can see the foot indicators on the map and also the screen. It will be harder to do the finisher, but I don't think that's a problem, because if you move slow enough, you can take out a camper using a finisher. Here are some things you should know about finishers. The finisher will be cancelled if either person dies, and the victim of the finisher will still be alive if the attack is killed before the finishing move is completed. Each finishing move has different variations when used on either standing, prone or downed enemies. You will also see finishers with foreign objects and additional characters like pets or companions, which will carry out the execution for you instead of the player.